Hello and welcome to this DEF CON 2 2v2 Warno tournament. We're in the qualifiers today, and we've got a game between Icarus, formerly known as Emperor Nate, and SaintBlindFire, formerly known as SaintBlindFire. And they're playing as 8th US and Territorial Commando Sud. Their team name is something like Better Dead Than Red, and they're up against Mikhail Filatov and Pazuzu, 56Y and 79Y respectively, and their team name is something like Belt and Road Initiative, but they spelt belt so that it's actually a Russian swear word. Haha. So we're on Tension today. Very dark map. A lot of the new maps that Eugen have been making are just really dark. I don't know if the map maker's going through his depressive episode or something, but the last few that have come out have all been really, really dark maps. Just makes it harder to see. So the rules specify that you have to put it on a daylight setting, and naturally nobody listens to them. So, yeah, looking at the deployments, we got a 8th US on the left here, but they've literally just put nothing in Bravo. They don't seem to care about it at all. Like, not even one ATGM or something. It's all coming in here, so got TKS on the right, just diving in to the midpoints, to the middle, with Green Berets times 8. So that's like 2 cards. Or are they? I think they're 4. Yeah, so it's not 2 cards. It's 3/4 of 2 cards, and 4 FS Jaeger B1, which are the Satchel Special Forces. So this is a really potent opener with 4 forward deployed gun trucks. A really potent opener. You see this a lot with TKS, backed up by 2 AMX-10 RCs, which are just going to cover the road. So he's definitely getting in there, but he's not going far enough to get the zones. So we'll see what happens. And, you know, a CV for India than Charlie. And we've got Emperor Nate here, so he's just doing the standard 8 thing. So supply 3 Stingers, 4 Mech Rifles Dragon, really strong squad, and an Eyehawk. Presumably the supply, yeah, it's going with the Eyehawk, and then 2 tanks, an M1 Abrams CV, and an M1A1 Abrams, and an LRS just to get there first, stop the enemy from diving in. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we got yeah, so Pazuzu with the tank division is on the right, so he's got some BMP2s, some Razvedka, quite a lot of Razvedka BMP2s, 5 in fact, which they're very expensive, and he's brought them at no vet, which is interesting because of how expensive they are. Hang on, what? Wow. So that's why he's brought them at no vet, because I think you get 8 at no vet, 2, 3, and he's brought 7 of them at the start. No, actually, he's just brought all 8. No, hang on. That's not his. These aren't his. Yeah, because I thought it was 6. 6 or 4. So that makes a lot more sense. So lots of Razvedka BMP2s. Some homos. This guy's not going very far. So he's got forward deployment. Mikhail Filatov. And yeah, there's like Iglas and Conkers and a CV there. So 56Y has forward deployment on these SPG-9s and stuff. So this is going to be really interesting because those guys are going to run into these. These don't have great accuracy, but if they can shoot the vehicles, they're going to get some kills there. And it's backed up by Razvedka BMP2, which is going to bully that AMX-10. This thing is a recon deployed AA gun, and it's also recon. It's got exceptional optics. I didn't realize that. Wow, no wonder it costs 100 points. So yeah, it's got exceptional optics, presumably because it's got some sort of radar, except it doesn't have the radar tag, so it doesn't have very good range and it can't shoot it against planes. So I'm not sure what's going on with that unit, but we'll see how that goes. He just wants to cover his SPG-9s from the air, I guess, but he won't be able to shoot any planes. Then 35Y, yeah, so you get these 30mm. These guys, they're called Orcs, 10 men for 45 points, which is really quite expensive, but they're not disheartened, like a lot of 10-man 45-point squads. Well, like a lot of 10-man squads, but they don't have a rocket launcher. And then Afghansky, which are 8 men, and they've got MGs, and they've got RPO, napalm launcher. And then this is one of the 2 super squads. 14 men, 85 points are really quite expensive, but 14 men. So they're like KDA, except, you know, more than twice as expensive. But they've not got disheartened trait. And yeah, some Razvedka BMP2s of his own. This is going to be a really interesting game. And 2 CVs, a 3rd CV there. And these guys have also opened 3 CVs total. So we'll cast the game, and we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. They get the names on the screen, they're bankrolling the channel, they get exclusive videos, they get the videos early, they get the names on the screen, and basically they're the reason that I can do things like cast these tournament games between players nobody's ever heard of. Of course, these are quite famous players, but I can cast most, if not all, of the tournament games. And I don't have to worry about just casting the best ones to get views, which is what you see other channels doing. And they do that because they got to worry about the ad revenue. What happened there? They didn't fire. Oh, that was really bad. There was like a split-second thing where they just didn't fire there, which gave SaintBlindFire the opportunity to unload everybody. That is really sad. That was really sad. I don't know if he interrupted the order or what, but he could have got a lot of guys in transports there. So these 2 blobs now are in a bit of a precarious situation, but I think they're just going to move forwards. And, you know, these have to find some spots to get in. They need to reinforce this pretty fast. The TKS opener, yeah, these guys deployed really quite conservatively, so they're going to take time to get in. But it looks like Icarus is content to just stack that up with Laws. I've noticed that between them, the red team have not brought a fob, so they're not going to be able to rocket arty that much. And it was just a crying shame with those SPGs. I mean, they got a race car in the end. It was probably this that got them. But it's a crying shame. This really needs to be over here because the blob cometh. And SaintBlindFire is about to get a huge cash injection. Each one of these is 20 points, right? So that's 220 points of income. So that's like an extra minute's income, basically. This CV has been spotted. Yeah, it's been seen. And he's not moving it. And yeah, they're just walking forwards. This guy's in the wrong building. If he was here, he could shoot that Abrams, but he's not. So he's not doing anything. And now that CV's just going to drive in. So that's pretty embarrassing. And there was no CV in here for some reason. Don't know if it died or what. F-104G bombers coming out here, but they die in 1 hit to the Cubs, so down it goes. And let's see about the next one. Yeah, that Cub, 2 shots, 2 hits. This Maulding MiG decides he really wants to fly over all the enemy AA and die. So he flies over all the enemy AA. And that Ihawk actually misses. So more Cubs purchased now, but that's not the play because your front line is collapsing. And yeah, apparently this can thread the needle. So it hits that, but there's no red CV in here, so blue are up to a +6. It'll be +4 once this goes down. Mikhail, he's trying to fill the gaps. But, ooh. What's he doing? He panicked. He panicked and he clicked it a few times, so it started turning around, whereas if he just left it, it would have been fine. This guy's in the wrong building, so these guys are going to get through. If he was in this building, he'd be able to shoot them all as they come in. And this SPG-9's not contributing anything, should be on the road, which is what he's bought the tank to do, to shoot down the road. But over here, they're just losing to the standard 8 thing, and honestly, NATO's a lot stronger than Pact right now, so this doesn't really surprise me very much. And now you gotta deal with the TKS on your border. He's trying to shoot back, get the BMP, but if he gets too close, he's going to get shot by the Green Berets. And he's just right-clicked it instead of clicking over here, so yeah, he's just going to end up getting shot. And you see that, you know, 1 shot from an AT. Most AT in the game just stuns any vehicle, which is, I think, is a bit silly. Just doesn't matter what your armor is, you're always getting stunned. Doesn't matter what the AT is, you're always getting stunned. There's just not much gameplay there. And Icarus has just completely taken this zone. I'm not sure where Pazuzu's points went. Oh yeah, he bought like 3 Cubs or something. Yeah, he bought 3 Cubs. And he bought all these Razvedka BMP2s, which are very expensive and haven't really helped him that much. So, it's a +4, you know. I'm not sure what red's going to do. Oh, they're coming this way. They're coming this way, so they're going to try and take that, but the AA's not with them, so they're going to get bombed. But we'll see. If he can smoke this, he can get it in there. But he's not fast-pathing it, he's just sending it down. He's just driving around. But it is quite fast off-road. 90 kmh. So, you know, Pazuzu, I'm not sure what the plan is now. He's just... How does he get back in there? I guess this is the plan. Try and take this one. So, this thing isn't doing anything there. It needs to be here. And then it can shoot at this. But he's panicking. Like, he's not fast-path this down the road. That's not going down the road, it's going adjacent to the road. So the push is a lot slower than it needs to be. And you see that got hit by this motorized Razvedka because he was in the right building that time. So, over here, Mikhail, he's trying to take ground against this massive blob. And he needs some supply. Like, he's got supply, he could put that there. But I think Red have just taken too many bad trades. NATO units are more cost-efficient than packed units for some reason. Gameplay. Oh, Cluster 2 coming in on that Abrams CV, but it's a high-altitude bomber, so all he's got to do is move it forwards and backwards, which he just did there, so it misses everything. Although it does manage to survive. So, yeah, that's why I prefer the Su-25AT, because they can't just drive out of the way. So Pazuzu, he's got in here, and now the mech rifles are being bought here. Bit of a slow reaction, but yeah, this ATGM should really be trying to get over to here to cut the reinforcements, and this guy's just needs to be at the edge so he can try and at least see the reinforcements, or get to here so he can shoot the reinforcements. You want to shoot the reinforcements, and you want to reinforce. Like, where's the stuff? Su-25AT purchased, misses, gets hit by the Eyehawk. And, yeah, so now Blue are in here as well. And it's just, yeah, it's those cost-efficient squads, you know. So Grad purchased, it's a good Grad volley. There's a lot of guys there. But there's, they've taken this to stop the tick, but now they've lost this. And, yeah, that's just nowhere. Should be in some trees. Can understand, though, because this is Mikhail's thing, and he's looking over here basically. So Blue takes more ground, and you know, Red needs to stabilize so they can start buying their heavy assets and stuff, but it's just not happening. So this guy didn't smoke and then died, and I think this guy's about to suffer the same fate. Yeah, these have very high accuracy. So okay, he survives, but the LGBT gets him, so he doesn't. So this thing is now being sent around here, but he's put it on fast move instead of attack move. Yeah, it's probably going to die to the Mech Rifles Dragon there, or the Ito, and it never got a chance to shoot the CV because it was on fast move and not attack move. So that's just going to die now. SaintBlindFire manages to avoid killing his own CV, and over here it's just not going so well at all. It was always going to be uphill, Pact versus NATO. You need to stabilize the front line fast, and you need to get a proper forward deployed division like 4th. 56Y, it's got forward deployed SPG-9s, so you can use them and then back it up with a bunch of infantry. Like, literally, you buy the infantry, you don't wait for it. But this is just some serious air bully over here. Whereas 4th is probably the better pick, actually, because they've got forward deployed, and then they've also got Cubs and stuff, and they've got the T-55s. But the infantry from 56Y is really good, so I can understand it. They're probably quite similar. It's just the NATO divs are stronger, and one reason why they're stronger is because there's so many forward deployed ones, like TKS, which has a very strong forward deployed component. So I don't think that can shoot that. No. It's not the one I thought it was. There's one that has a 1,025 meter range ATGM. So +8 now for the blue team. And Pazuzu is falling back. Doesn't really have a choice. But yeah, this game is over. Oh, okay, they're going to surrender in 20 seconds. So yeah, it was just from that opener, really. It was always going to be hard, given the divs that these guys picked. It was always going to be hard, but they bought these Razvedka BMP2s, which are really expensive. and they didn't really get much value out of them at all. And then they just got walked into, and a bit of an overinvestment in AA on that mid side. So yeah, there you go. Big outplay there. You got this is me, sadly. Eugen, they just don't want to fix it. I report it constantly. They just don't care. They don't see it as a problem because it only affects casters, and we're a small percentage of the community, right? So he only took 165 losses. But he plays a lot. He probably plays more than these three put together. But SaintBlindFire. So these guys are infamous for resetting their number of total multiplayer games played. So he's played no ranked games this season, but I guarantee you he's had more total games than that. Pazuzu, 13 ranked games this season, all as NATO, and he was playing as Pact. 100% win rate, though. And Mikhail Filatov plays a lot of Pact, actually. Very high win rate. But he just got outplayed by picking the wrong division. So yeah, there was, but mainly the collapse was on this side. Like Mikhail did manage to sort of hold off that forward deployed, but Pazuzu just bought the wrong units. He needed like 2 Razvedka BMP2s, and the rest should have been infantry and BMP2s. But you know, lots of infantry. But yeah, 79Y is a tough pick for that map. 27th can be seen as better. Is 27th at the Metis? I can't remember. But it's uphill. If you're playing Pact, it's uphill. I mean, and you know, this guy hadn't been practicing at all. He's only been playing NATO. So you get what you get. And please do leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.